Welcome back to NHK Newsline. I'm Minora Takao with the latest at this hour. Southeast Asian leaders have wrapped up talks on a range of political, security, and economic issues. It's part of a major annual meeting for the regional ASEAN bloc. Now, they are now moving on to separate discussions with representatives of the United States, China, South Korea, and Japan. The ASEAN leaders are planning to release a chairman's statement later, expected to address deep concern over North Korea's nuclear and missile development. All 10 member nations have traditionally had friendly relations with the reclusive country and differ on how the issues should be resolved. Also part of the discussions were China's maritime activities in the disputed South China Sea and combating extremism in the wider region. The Philippines is hosting the summit just weeks after it declared the end of military operations against militants inspired by the Islamic State. On the sidelines of the summit, U.S. President Donald Trump promised reporters he'll have a major statement on trade and North Korea on Wednesday. He boasted of making major progress on trade during his first official trip to Asia. Outside, police and anti-ASEAN protesters clashed on the streets. The demonstrators paraded an effigy of Trump with 4 arms in a Nazi symbol. For more on the ASEAN summit, I'm joined by Kyoko Tashira from our Eye on Asia team. Now, Kyoko, it looks like everyone is getting down to business today, but over the weekend, sounds like things started off on a lighter note.
That's right, Minori. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, a man who has become known for a bloody crackdown on drug dealers and users in his country, showed a softer side. He actually sang some karaoke to guests during a state dinner. He said President Trump told him to sing, so he did. Let's head to NHK World's Pachari Raksawan, who is in Manila. Pachari, what's happening there for the rest of the day?
Lots and lots of meetings. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to try to get ASEAN members to put more pressure on North Korea, but not everyone in the group feels pressure will be effective in getting Pyongyang to give up its nuclear and weapons programs. Now, as for the South China Sea issue, it's uncertain what, if anything, will be accomplished. On Sunday, Duterte said the issue would be better left untouched. Now, this comes after an offer from President Trump to mediate the issue.
In Southeast Asia, the crisis of Rohingya Muslims fleeing Myanmar has dominated the headlines in recent months. Will that issue be discussed?
Observers say the Rohingya humanitarian crisis won't be on the official agenda because Myanmar is an ASEAN member, but it is believed leaders will talk about the situation. More than 600,000 people have fled Rakhine State to Bangladesh to escape from violence which erupted in August. The United Nations has referred to the situation there as ethnic cleansing, which the Myanmar government denies. ASEAN did have ministerial-level talks about this issue in September, but a joint declaration that followed failed to mention the Rohingya. This was criticized by Muslim-majority nation Malaysia. Now, ASEAN holds the principle of non-interference, but many observers say the situation is too dire to be ignored. The focus here is whether unofficial talks lead to some sort of policy to help address the issue.
Thank you, Pachari.